In the headlines this morning, Anambra government signs memorandum of understanding with private firm for housing projects. Traders cautioned against diversion of government revenue. Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority begins demolition of masts over air safety. Japan rejects Korean fund plan to compensate forced wartime labor. Good morning and welcome to the news at 7. I am David Opopasle. The Anambra State government has signed a memorandum of understanding worth $46.5 million with MP Infrastructure Limited for housing projects in the state. The event took place at the Governor's Lodge, Amobia, and Governor Obiano signed on behalf of the state government, while Dr. Clem Nwobo signed on behalf of the company. Government House correspondent Eji Kabana reports.
The company is targeting 100 acres of land from Anambra State government, while state government has agreed to commence with an initial 25 acres to develop a millennium estate in Awka. The profit-sharing formula is 73% for the company, 24% for state government, and 3% for the host community. Governor Obiano expressed satisfaction that Dr. Nwobo is one of the investors that heeded his Akuluono call, having come back to invest in agriculture and telecommunications. The governor explained that it is expected that the eco-friendly city project, modeled after what is usually seen abroad, will provide about 1,000 direct jobs, adding that MP Infrastructure is the 7th company investing in infrastructure in the state.
This project will start initially with 25 hectares. They are going to build it up and sell the houses after providing the sites and services, and more importantly, the major road leading to the Millennium Estates.
The Managing Director of Anambra State Investment Promotion and Protection Agency, Mr. Jide Ikako, explained that the Ministry of Housing, Lands, Physical Planning, Awka Capital Territory Development Authority, and others are involved in the project, which will be executed in phases, stressing that if they fail to develop within 6 months, the MOU will be withdrawn.
Begins to make profit, the sharing formula will be 73% to the investor, 24% to the state, and corporate social responsibility, CSR, 3%. It should be further emphasized that the investor is expected to commence work within 6 months of the CFO issuance, and non-compliance will result in revocation of any land that's donated to this particular project by the state.
In his speech, Dr. Clem Nwobo stated that the project's design is in line with the rapid modernization and the regeneration aspirations of the present administration, as it will be done under a public-private partnership arrangement. He said that the timeline for the completion of the first phase of the project, comprising of roads, drains, utilities, perimeter fencing, among others, is 30 months from the date of mobilization to site, stressing, however, that the project is in keeping with the governor's Akuluono philosophy.
The catchphrase Akuluono, which His Excellency is being championed. We are most grateful to you and your administration for creating the enabling environment for the exploration to thrive. Your personal commitment and passion for attracting sustainable investment to Anambra State has given us the impetus to remain focused and committed to completing this project within the shortest possible time.
Signing of the MOU featured at the ceremony. From the Governor's Lodge, Amobia, Ejike Abana, ABS News.
Market chairmen across the state have been authorized to collect tolls and remit to the government coffers. The Commissioner for Trade, Commerce and Wealth Creation, Dr. Christian Madubuko, stated this at Onitsha during an interaction with the executive of Onitsha South Shop Owners Traders Association. Correspondent Amaka Chibuzo Koye has the report.
The meeting, which was to identify with traders and find out their problems with a view to solving them, was attended by chairmen and secretaries of all the markets in Onitsha South. Addressing the gathering, Commissioner Madubuko said that it is the duty of the community to rid the markets of illegal toll collectors. He noted that anybody seen collecting tolls without government approval will be dealt with, charging the chairmen to be on ground and collect tolls from their various jurisdictions through State Internal Revenue Service and advise them to register for ANSEED.
we started a process with the DSS in Awka, and I think the two parties were invited. Chairman, I want to tell you the matter is still under investigation.
The President General of Onitsha South Shop Owners, Chief Eric Uwoma, in his speech, lamented that some chairmen crossed boundaries, thereby causing problems in the market, and solicited for security of traders as they face intimidations from thugs and multiple taxation.
And 900 naira, 950 naira, before any loppy work on about 2,000.
Also speaking, the chairman of Obamanu Market, Chief Oliver Okeke, frowned at the rate at which illegal toll collectors chased away traders in the market, which he noted resulted to low sales, and called on government to set up special task force that will monitor and ensure conducive environment for all. In their various speeches, some of the secretaries of the association, including Mrs. Comfort Okonkwo, Mr. Chinedu Nnalue, complained of other ills being witnessed in the market, which include printing of fake receipts, and called for measures to stop such. From Onitsha, Amaka Chibuzo Okoye, ABS News.
And on now to legislative matters. Anambra State House of Assembly says it will show more commitment to its legislative business for the overall development of the state. Its Speaker, Mr. Uchenna Okafor, gave the assurance during plenary in Awka. House of Assembly correspondent Chukwuemeka Modelem was there and now reports.
The Speaker, while welcoming members of the 7th Assembly to their first plenary, charged them to exhibit good conduct and show more commitment to lawmaking, oversight, and effective representation. He stressed the need for the lawmakers to always engage in acts that will always portray Anambra State as the light of the nation. He congratulated Governor Willie Obiano on his re-election as the chairman, Board of Trustees of the All Progressives Grand Alliance during the last national convention of the party, as well as the national chairman of the party, Chief Victor Ike Oye, on his re-election, and other national, state, and local government officers of APGA who were either elected or re-elected during the congresses. Also at plenary, all members of the House appreciated their constituents for voting them into the 7th Assembly.
The House later adjourned plenary till Thursday this week. From the State House of Assembly, Chukwuemeka Modelem, ABS News.
Chiben Oil Company has opened another filling station along the Onitsha Adani Road beside New Idea Construction Company Umueri in Anambra East local government area. The Anglican Bishop of Niger West, Right Reverend Johnson Ekwe, performed the opening ceremony. Njide Kokoye was there and brings us the report.
Stations sell various petroleum products including petrol, gas, kerosene, and oil, among others, as well as render services such as electronic alignment, digital well balancing, and other services. Speaking while performing the function, Bishop Ekwe commended Igwe Ben Emeka for starting all his ventures with God, which he said shows that he has the fear of God. He extolled him for heeding Governor Willie Obiano's think home philosophy.
Ebe ụlọ akụrụngwa a na-azụ afịa mmanụ dị iche iche n'imezi ụgbọala nke afọ ya bụ Chiben Oil Company Limited n'afọ nke nna na nke ọkpara na nke mmụọ.
On his part, the proprietor of the filling station and the traditional ruler of Umueri, Igwe Ben Emeka, said that he decided to put God first and make him the foundation of his businesses because he knows that God is above all things. Igwe Emeka stated that his decision to bring all his investments to Anambra State is to heed Governor Obiano's think home philosophy, in addition to creating jobs for the teeming youths. He assured patronizers that there will be no adjustment of meters and no adulteration of products.
Chiben filling station is known for its genuine products and not tampering with the meter whatever, if you buy 1 liter petroleum products in Chiben, it's 1 liter. If you buy 2 liters, it's 2 liters. There's no adulteration and there is no cheating of any sort.
In their remarks, the wife of the traditional ruler, Lady Chinwe Emeka, and the manager of the filling station, Mr. Nonso Ben Emeka, maintained that Chiben Oil Company is known for standards, quality, and honesty.
Our purpose of opening was to sell or was to provide inner city or inner communities with access that didn't have access to getting premium quality fuel, AGO, DPK.
The chairman, Anambra East Local Government Area Traditional Rulers Council, Igwe Alex Edoziuno, National President, Umueri Youth Forum, Ambassador Chibuze Kwenye, and some of the patronizers, including Mr. Chika Nweke and Mr. Emeka Olga, applauded the standard pricing and quality of the station. The ceremony featured praises, blessing and prayers at different sections of the filling station by Bishop Ekwe. From Umueri, Njideka Okoye, ABS News.
Youths in Nsofia Agwata local government area has urged Chief Ndubisi Osele to withdraw the suit he filed against the member representing Agwata Constituency 2 at the State House of Assembly, Mr. Okechukwu Okoye. The youths made the call during a peaceful demonstration they staged in the community. Correspondent Chibuzo Okoye takes the story from here.
The youths who marched through major roads and streets visited the palace of the traditional ruler of the community, Igwe Christopher Moalo, as well as the President General of the community, Chief Jude Okeke, to register their displeasure over the suit. Explaining why they embarked on the peaceful demonstration, the leader of the youths, Mr. Ephraim Ofochwode, said the youths of the community are happy with the mandate given to Mr. Okoye, who won the Agwata 2 state constituency election on the platform of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, and regretted that the petitioner, Chief Osele, is from the same community where the winner of the state election hails from. The youth leader who noted that though the petitioner has the constitutional right to challenge the outcome of the election, as the current traditional prime minister-elect of the community, it would amount to disservice if he drags one of his subjects to court.
He has the legal right to go to court, but when it comes to tradition, tradition is tradition. You can't take your subject to court. As the post he has in Ethiopia, as you know, we're elect, he is supposed to congratulate his brother.
The APGA youth leader of the community, Mr. Obeta Ifemeje, wondered why Chief Osele, who contested the election on the platform of the People's Democratic Party and came a distant third, is challenging the election that is won by his own brother, and advised him to focus more attention on his position as the traditional prime minister, which the community has given him.
Oh no.
Welcoming the youths in his palace, the traditional ruler of the community, Igwe Moalu, who spoke through his palace secretary, Mr. Ndubisi Orajuka, commended the youths for their peaceful conduct and urged them to do away with anything that can mar the current prevailing peace in the community, assuring that he will look into the matter.
Peaceful demonstration is one of the elements of democracy, which is entertaining democracy. People have to register their displeasure and pleasure with activities of their leaders and all that. So what they have come to do is legitimate.
The youths carried placards with various inscriptions like, "We don't want to go back to Egypt again. Mr. Okoye is our choice. Ethiopia needs peace and stability," among others. From Ethiopia in Agwata local government area, this is Chibuzo Okoye for ABS News.
And still to come on the news, Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority begins demolition of masts over air safety. Japan rejects Korea fund plan to compensate forced wartime labor. More stories after this break.
ABS, Heartbeats of the East.
You're welcome back. The Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority says it will commence the demolition of telecommunication masts in different locations within the country. The NCCA said the demolition exercise will similarly affect some banks and financial institutions that had discountenanced its regulatory requirements on the clearance to erect any high infrastructure within navigable airspace in the country. The NCCA had in April warned all global systems for mobile communications providers and telecom operators out against the violation of safety regulations within a 30-days ultimatum handed down for compliance. The regulatory agency's General Manager, Public Relations, Mr. Sam Adu-Roboye, said the NCA had been left with no choice as the 30-day ultimatum given to the telecommunication service providers had expired. South Korea has said it had proposed a joint fund with Japan to compensate South Koreans forced to work by Japanese companies during World War II, but Japan rejected the idea out of hand. South Korea and Japan share a bitter history that includes the 1910 to 1945 Japanese colonization of the Korean Peninsula, the forced mobilization of labor at Japanese companies, and the use of comfort women, Japan's euphemism for girls and women, many of them Korean, forced to work in its wartime brothels. The Korean proposal aims to resolve an issue that has strained relations since a series of rulings by South Korean courts ordered Japanese firms to compensate former laborers. Japan says the claim were settled in a 1965 treaty that normalized ties and has accused Seoul of breaking that treaty. And on sports, Anambra State government is to equip a modern sports facility in the state in 6 months' time. Governor Obiano disclosed this when he received Anambra contingents to the 2018 National Sports Festival at the Governor's Lodge, Amobia. Government House correspondent Ejika Abana is our guide.
They won a total of 48 medals ranging from gold to bronze for the state after participating in National Youth Games and National Sports Festival at Ilorin and Abuja in September and December respectively, while expressing optimism that the facility will aid the advancement of sports in the state. Governor Obiano commended the Sports Commission for rejuvenating sporting activities in the state, stressing that the short while spent by Mr. Tony Lee at the Sports Commission has repositioned the sector, stressing that names of a lot of young stars have been written down as a way of catching young talents to harness very bright stars. Governor Obiano also announced the legendary Mary Onyali Omagbemi as Anambra State Sports Ambassador to ensure that her success secrets are imbibed in the younger ones, urging the young sportsmen to work harder to polish their talents.
What he started doing is the way to go. Catching them young from the primary school, secondary, and of course from these two segments of the education, you will be able to pick very bright stars that you can harness. You'll be able to do like Mary Onyali, who has very proudly flown the Nigerian flag in many ways.
The chairman of the State Sports Commission, Chief Tony Lee, stressed that for the first time in 20 years, Anambra State recorded the best result in sports and appreciated the governor for making it possible by creating the opportunities, assuring that they will get more victories for the state. Chief Oli announced that they have already started to prepare for the National Youth Games and National Sports Festival coming up next year, expressing optimism that they will win more medals for the state.
Now that we are preparing for the National Youth Games and also for the National Sports Festival, you have only one promise to make, to double whatever thing we have done that made the governor to receive you today.
Speaking, Chief Mary Onyali Omagbemi, who performed very well in the sports world during her hair days, asked the young stars to avoid playing with their education while engaging in sports, noting that relying on their sports laurels alone without recourse to their education will place them at a disadvantaged position in future. She added that she was able to become a 5-time Olympian and 2-time bronze medalist because she struck a balance between education and sports, which has helped her reach her present pedestal, urging them to use the opportunity offered by state government as a challenge to become better people.
We've already mapped out a strategy on how to get sports generally, both male and female, developed or going back to the podium like we used to do during my heydays. I'm here, I'm back home to ginger everybody, all the youths, in primary, secondary school, all the way to the elite.
Checks and certificates presentations were made to them by the governor. From the Governor's Lodge, Amobia, Ejike Abana, ABS News.
And that is it for this morning. But before we go, remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television. Subscribe to our YouTube at youtube.com/ABS Radio TV Online. Follow us on Twitter at ABS Radio TV and on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can also log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. Here are the main points again. Anambra State Government has signed Memorandum of Understanding with a private firm for housing projects. Traders have been cautioned against diversion of government revenue. Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority has begun demolition of masts over air safety. And Japan has rejected Korean fund plan to compensate forced wartime labor. And that is the news this time. Good morning, Anambra continues right after now. I am David Okwasele.